Boom, and we are live, folks. Yes, we are live. We are back at it again. We are the Wrestling for Life Network, back at it again on a Tuesday night. We got NXT just a little over or around about 2 weeks away from Stand and Deliver, and we've got Ilia Dragunov versus JD McDONAGH, and I don't even know if that's going to be the main event, folks. So strap on and strap in because you know it's going to be a good night. We've got Grayson Waller maybe going after Gargano. We've got still a qualifying match to see maybe crown a new NXT Women's Champion. But absolutely, folks, strap on and strap in. We've got NXT kicking off right now. Boom, and like I said, folks, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. I am Big Nick. I am joined, as always, on a Tuesday night delight with Piv Cliff over there, Cliff Stradamus. He doesn't have the headdress, so he's not Prince Cliff Ali.
Nope, not today.
But we've got NXT kicking off right now. We're already starting off with the replay building up Johnny Gargano and Grayson Waller. That whole match that we're going to be having at Stand and Deliver of Johnny Gargano's, Grayson Waller's, Shawn Michaels staying in there. But I will remind everybody how you doing. Keep it moving. Absolutely. How you doing on a lovely, fantastic, feel-good Tuesday. It's a great day to have a great day. And it's a great day to have a good NXT show because we're just about 2 weeks away from Stand and Deliver, the, I guess, halfway kind of pre-show to night one. But it's already looking like a stacked card. We might, like I said, have, a potential future NXT Women's Champion competing tonight because we've got a qualifying match for the ladder match that maybe Roxanne vacated her title, maybe she didn't. But we do also have Ilia Dragunov versus JD McDONAGH, and instantly that's something I was like, all right, strap on. I want to watch this. Pause.
Yeah. That's the match I'm looking forward to the most.
I was going to say, I didn't even get to how you doing, sir.
I'm doing fantastic, sir.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Just fantastic.
You've got the maximum, what should be the maximum male models right now, Pretty Deadly coming out. But I will take a moment to shout out everybody in the chat here. Steven, what up? Chris, what up? Larry. Larry. Marley, what up? Hello. Steven, Mick, what up? Chris, Jordan. Callum, you even got the AEW commentator showing up. And you're trying to steal my gimmick with the wide. Big, what up? Damien, what up? And I thought I saw Big Vic up in there, but absolutely, folks. See, hey, yo, why? But absolutely, folks, how you doing on a Tuesday night? It's like I said, with coming off of Raw from last night, I feel like WWE is turning that corner when it comes to building for WrestleMania weekend. And they're sure as hell delivering when it comes to NXT as well. Stand and Deliver so far seems like a packed card. Oh, they're even doing the Vogue, strike a pose.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel. I could fully picture them either with or replacing Masse and Mansour, and I hate to bag on my boy Otis, but maybe they could.
I would love to see it if they were both. I mean, if they left Otis in there and just had those two instead.
Absolutely, I love Otis. Pause. But Kenny, what up? Victor, see, I knew I seen you in there. Dale, what up? Res Evil, what up? And yes, well, since you mentioned yours, I will mention ours. We're just already crossed the line of 1.5K subscribers and still just barely over a year old. So absolutely, folks, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. We're the alternative commentary for anything and everything when it comes to professional wrestling. Where the wrestling channel, even the wrestlers watch, Christ, people in attendance at the shows tune in to watch us. So absolutely, if you're in any sort of a chat, you're on any social media platform, some wrestling fans down the way, let them know about us because it's by now it's a good time over here.
Oh yeah, no one does it like us.
Absolutely. Often imitated, never replicated, never duplicated.
That's right.
Who's your pick between Jacob Fatu and Alex Hammerstone tonight after NXT for the MLW World Championship? Well, this year seems to be the year of Samoan, so I'm going to take Jacob Fatu. But we've got Carmelo and Trick coming out right now.
Oh.
He is him Jones. He is him Duncan. He about to stop a mud hole in his Timberlands. He is Himmy Neutron, Himmy Cricket, Himmy Turner. I think, and I don't know how you can agree or disagree, Trick's been really a breakout performer out of this whole thing with Carmelo as well. If he's kind of got that Sami Zayn-ish type rub, that Jey Uso type rub of you were around what was supposed to be the main focus and you've done enough to grab yourself, to elevate yourself.
I agree. He's been pretty impressive, I think he has it.
I'm just waiting for the day I get a promo off between Trick and LA Knight.
So do you think there could be a point? You think there could be a point where, Trick gets jealous and then betrays Carmelo Hayes at some point?
I think that's where we might be ultimately leading to.
Right.
Granted, I hope not, because that's how every tag team every duo breaks up. But
how else do you do it?
Unless they, I don't know if, say, with the Street Profits, if Dawkins turns on Ford, or if they just kind of agree to go their separate ways, of just kind of agree to go and I can do this thing on my own. Like maybe Carmelo goes up to the main roster and then Trick joins him. Like maybe Trick has a bit of a run by himself in NXT. I'm fine with that. So, hey, Trick announcing that Carmelo and Braun Breaker are going to take on Pretty Deadly. Why? But how will they coexist? What? Yeah. What? Yeah. That'll be the whole back and forth. That'll be the whole segment. If Austin and LA Knight, like they're rumored about, happens at WrestleMania, as I've got Braun just yeeting Pretty Deadly all around the ring.
Why did I, that last comment that you read?
Yeah.
I had it in my head as like the, you ever heard that song Mockingbird? Mock, yeah.
Trust me, don't worry. They got you covered. Mockingbird. Yeah. So you got to put the different inflections, the different emphasis on the wrong syllable. Trick needs more matches, though. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying of Steven, that maybe he gets a bit of a run in NXT for a bit just as a solo act, because I could see him at least being North American Championship.
At least, at the very least.
Christ, you give me a Trick versus Austin Theory feud in about 6 months, and you can have that. But we've still got the face-off after Braun lays waste to Pretty Deadly. We've got the stare down between Braun and Carmelo. So I guess we're getting that as a tag team match later tonight of how will they coexist. Well, up next, we've got the Tiffany Epiphany. And no offense to all the ladies on the roster, but I think Tiffany Stratton keeps looking better each night. But we've got her versus Indy Hartwell for a qualifying match for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, I know you joked and went at me about being soft and everything, but how do you still feel with the Roxanne Perez situation of maybe she comes back, maybe does this feel like a valid championship title match to you? Like that she's literally taken some serious time off and they're going to give whoever the belt and have them have a run with it? Or is this just, we had nothing for Roxanne Perez, so let's fabricate some shit?
Honestly, I think it depends on which eye Sean is looking through.
Touche. Or wait, around here, it's KJ's not here, but Tabernacle,
yeah. No, but all kidding aside, I don't know. It's be interesting to see, and I hope it does pay off. Otherwise, it's pretty pointless.
sometimes NXT be that way though.
I know, that's what I'm afraid of.
Right. Well,
but I mean, maybe she was hurt, but not in that sense, and maybe she just needed some time off, or they're gonna put her through another, like, I don't even know how they would do this, like to come back and like just enter whatever match, and I don't even know. It'd be interesting.
I don't think they know. So that's
I just don't know what the point of it was. You know what I mean? Like,
well, most people by now already know my feeling on it, and that it was not the right time, the right place. It did not call for that. You had not built up enough story outside of just the real world implications that may have happened with that.
But SAWFT.
Listen, you live in Florida now. I'm closer to New York, so you can't use New York back on me. You're further away. You got the peripheral.
Yeah, well, I'm still a New Yorker at heart.
How you doing? Keep it moving. How you doing? Are they wearing the same jeans? Maybe. Well, not at least at the same time, thankfully. Any reports in your research about Sting coming back yet? Jax, I don't think there's anything really going on with Sting. I think it's just they haven't had a need for him. They haven't had a use for him. I mean, he went and did the stuff with Muta. That was a while ago, but they're still trying to get. Last we saw with AEW, they were doing the whole 4 pillars thing, and Darby got a pretty solid pop on his own. So I don't know if he needs Daddy Sting anymore.
Daddy Sting.
I still think it would be a great idea if Sting inducts Muta into the Hall of Fame.
That'd be interesting.
It would be very much we're showing that we can coexist type deal, because I don't think someone like Ric Flair, should be inducting Muta. I think Sting probably would feel more if Sting does it, but AEW. So,
yeah.
Well, and so I'll ask you, and I'll ask the chat, how do you feel about the potential of Goldberg being your newest reigning, defending, undisputed AEW champion? Because now he's a free agent. And Tony's out there. Tony likes to look at free agents, especially with the name, a little bit like how Spirit Halloween likes to look at abandoned buildings of, like, we could put something there, right?
Yeah, I mean, so if he's a free agent, do you think he'll go back to WWE just based on Cody being there?
Goldberg?
Oh, I thought you said Goldust. My bad.
No, Goldberg.
Goldberg. Oh,
well, Goldberg. No. Hallelujah! If Goldust was a free agent, if Dustin was a free agent, no, I'm so.
I'm sorry. My brain. I don't know why I thought.
No, you're good. We'll get.
I just don't. I guess I don't like to register.
Your brain just had a sensor of like, wait, nope, that word's not allowed. If we just don't, that's not a possibility.
Goldberg not allowed. Not allowed.
Right. You and Bret Hart have that same thing of just no Goldberg.
Well, it's funny because Bret Hart is my guy. So,
There you go.
There you go.
What? Good grief, just changed Braun's name to Rex Steiner. Fair enough, yeah.
But you know what? If Goldberg going to AEW, I don't understand. I don't know what the point of that would be.
It would draw ratings. That's the thing with AEW, is it draws ratings. We had an announcement for a show that no one gives a rat's ass about and still have halfway forgotten about since it was announced, but it drew ratings.
Meh. I mean,
now you summed it up right there with meh.
Meh. Yeah, meh. That's all I have to say.
Chris feeling me with the Tiffany vibes. Larry's saying Stex Reiner. I'm glad I said that right, because that could have almost got me in trouble.
Yes, it could have.
Ronnie, thank you. Everybody should be like Ronnie. Drop a like on the video, drop a comment after the video, not in the live chat and everything like that. Be a friend, tell a friend. If you're in any sort of wrestling group, anything like that, and you know a wrestling fan, you know a guy who used to like wrestling, you know a guy that just wants to hang out and have a good time, or gal. I will be inclusive and say gal or whoever, but Absolutely. Let them know about us. We ain't nothing but a good time. Why? Send Olberg to New Japan. Absolutely. And I will remind folks that I know there was a good bit of comments there that I missed and everything like that. We do have the super chat, the super stickers, all of that fun stuff. If you want to make sure that you get your point across, if you want to make sure I read your comment, if you want to just even help support the channel, we do have that as well. But I've got Tiffany Stratton coming out right now. So we've got Tiffany Stratton versus Indi Hartwell for a qualifying match for the NXT Women's Championship ladder match at Stand and Deliver. So give us your predictions in the chat. I think a few people are already taking Stratton. Who are you taking there? Cliff Stradamus. As Small Mark just makes me sad of saying Goldberg versus Jericho. The match that should have happened 20 years ago. That, not even that, like 30, 40.
That would be the match that no one cares about anymore. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are just sick of seeing the both of them. So at this point,
right.
It's a shame because I really did like Jericho, but I think he's overstaying his welcome with.
Yeah, he's gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, that's why I added the T. Why? Tiffany Stratton in the ring. Yes. WWE had a zombie lumberjack before. Why not one in the ring? Oh, fair enough.
It's going to be Tiffany Stratton here. I mean,
that's your prediction, sir?
Yeah, because the other one has been just a jobber.
Well, the other one I feel could go up to the main roster, and especially you've got Candace up there, you've got Johnny up there, you've got Daxie up there. So, I mean, bring back Index. But also at the same time, Tiffany's been advertised on the poster. I will give you that. Like she's on any sort of packaging. And I feel I don't want to say deserve, but I get why. So I think she picks up the win. So I am in agreement with you, sir.
Yeah.
But I think most people are as well got Tiffany for the win. My son, what up? Olberg versus Jericho. What? Picking Tiffany Stratton. I'll get there for the win. Going as far as Tiffany winning the title at Stand and Deliver. Wow, Steven.
Wow.
I don't do super chats when I'm fighting a scam that has to do with that after counts of crypto, maybe after. Fair enough, Jax. You do you. You take it to Jake Paul or Logan Paul. Sorry. Curtis saying Tiffany for the win. Damon's I'm sick of Jericho and Double J. Yeah, fair enough. Rumors are Braun and Zoe Starks going up to the main roster after WrestleMania.
Why is everyone hating on Double J?
Really?
I don't mind
his defense as I have Tiffany whipping India to the corner. You defend Double J to me. Here we go. Strap on and strap in.
Well, I haven't seen enough of him. I think that's probably why.
Well, you're still arguing this over like the matches he had with like China and shit over the IC title and everything, and you're like,
yeah, well, that stuff happens, but
right? But no, I'm saying so. What in AEW has sold you on Jeff Jarrett?
Well, nothing, because I haven't seen any of it. So I'm just saying, like
get me going is what it is. You just want me to start yelling at clouds and everything.
Yes, I'm poking the bear. Right,
Curtis. If it's Tuesday, it must be NXT. And yes, if it's Tuesday on the rest of the 4 Life Network, it must be NXT. It must be the Big Nick and Cliff Stradamus. I'm still waiting for Cliff Stradamus to make a second appearance here. I know we booked him. I feel like Tony Khan. If I signed him and he's just been stuck in catering the whole time.
Oh shoot, man! I lost him though.
Don't worry. So did Tony with half his roster. But we are in commercial break right now. As we have Tiffany in control as they're on the outside. Damon coming in hot
damn.
He is not a nice word to professional wrestling. Yeah.
Damn. Wow.
Jax, please call me Q. You all track me and fully understand who I am. Never trying to. Okie dokie. Well, Q, that's probably going to be the last comment that I read of yours for a hot minute. But anyways, Mick, what up? Double J should have won the international title. No. And I'm already mad at the fact that they took a title that they just recently made up, gave to pretty much Orange Cassidy, and already put on some weird stipulations, like they were trying to make it their European title. And then now that hasn't gotten over, and that hasn't worked, and that's gotten stale. So now we're going to change up the name within months of maybe at least a year of making the title, and call it the international title. Let me take the Intercontinental title and let me change it up so it doesn't look like I'm copying your work.
And this is why I don't watch AEW.
Why? David saying, Jarrett winning the title wouldn't have been such a bad idea if he was going to offload it to, say, Starks. But that's already, but so then just have Starks win it. That's the thing, is Jeff Jarrett was initially signed to be a backstage person when it came to AEW. He was supposed to be what we thought William Regal would have been. And I saw a great interview with him earlier today, by the way. But that's what we thought, guys like that. Even Jim Ross, you thought he would have halfway been at least the voice of reason to Tony Khan at times. And that's what we thought Jeff Jarrett, when they signed him, was supposed to be. Oh, he's going to be halfway backstage, and he would have been the voice of reason. And instead, he's been on TV damn near just as much, if not more, than Jericho. He keeps trying to get that little fucking TNA 2007 faction over. So,
well, that's, I mean, that's what happens when you hire people that have large personalities and, essentially have large egos.
Hey, I have a large personality, but I ain't doing none of that. But
you keep telling yourself that, Nick. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, no. Thank you. Bye. Who do I sound like? I get what you're saying. Well, they thought they hired like actual WWE business Jeff Jarrett who could run in that system. And that's, I think, people discredit, is that there's a system in place that Jarrett would have had to go through, versus when he's into AEW, if he can whisper in Tony's ear a little bit of, maybe I should take on OC for the belt. So what if I've had a match every week on Dynamite, and I'm supposed to be like the guy booking all the shows and everything? But see, I booked you in Canada, right? What? Yeah.
That's exactly how it works.
Back from commercial break right now, as we've got Tiffany Stratton with a 2 count on Indy after the I guess little booty tackle into the ropes there. Watching 911 Lone Star right now, Larry. Jack, what? Jack, fair enough. David, I don't think Starks winning it off of OC would be the greatest idea. They're both baby faces right now. And Starks, you're trying to get over as a top one. Don't put him in that position. Don't even get me started with what they've done with some of their heels with. And I know we'll be back here for Dynamite, so trust me. We're trying to talk NXT, but we keep going into AEW discussion. But what they've done, even with a guy like Hobbs, they've saddled him of now he's second place at best when it comes to QTV, a discount TMZ.
Yeah.
But backdrop from Stratton onto Indy, both women down. The reason was Jarrett was brought in, came true this weekend, was pretty much a success. I challenge you. And if you want to talk more about this, we'll be here, like I said, Wednesday for Dynamite with Kenny Omega versus El Hijo del Vikingo. And I know that's already become a dream match and a controversial match, but we'll be here live for that, folks. That's when you can let all your AEW feelings out. Steven saying could see Takeshita taking the title. Yeah, well, Christ, they might honestly line him up towards MJF. Why does KJ hate Kenny Omega? Why is that, Nick? Well, you can ask him, like I said, Damien, you can ask him tomorrow night when he's here having to cover, Kenny Omega versus El Hijo del Vikingo, and I'm sure he'll be very in favor of one side. But
I never.
It's that weird Canadian on Canadian hate, I guess. Of everybody says Canadians are super polite, but sometimes they just get that inner beef.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to defend KJ on that one because I didn't know Kenny Omega.
But why?
I didn't know Kenny Omega until I saw him on it. I've heard about him because I never seen his New Japan Pro Wrestling stuff.
Right.
Then when he came to AEW, and I had friends that were into New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they would be like, "Oh, he's the best wrestler in the world," this and that, blah blah blah. Then when I finally saw him in AEW, I'm like, "This is the guy." What?
See, and I'll say this because I've been here watching Kenny. We watched Kenny versus Ospreay. Meanwhile, Tiffany with a Death Valley Driver and kind of step up springboard moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Tiffany Stratton picks up the win.
Yep.
It was a Tiffany epiphany. She picked up the win. But yeah, when we were here live watching Wrestle Kingdom and everything, when we watched Mercedes Moni show up and everything, and we watched Omega versus Ospreay, New Japan Kenny is way different than AEW Kenny. And that's the thing, is I found out and watched and became a fan of Kenny because of New Japan Kenny, when most people only know AEW Kenny, and they're not the same wrestler. They're not the same individual, I feel.
Right.
Caliber says, "Wow, killer moonsault."
That was a pretty sweet moonsault. She nailed it like perfectly. That was perfect.
She just did that. You can't escape. Tiff wins 1-0, and then C Money out here with 183 and 213. I think you've somehow ended up on the losing side, but we've got
Gallus.
Yeah, we've got Gallus at the local pub here. Now, is this the bar that Bar Rescue owns? Can they afford the same bar location? Where's John Taffer? That's my question to y'all, is where's John Taffer? Been on a losing streak. Fair enough. They bury her, Andy. Nothing doing nothing with her. Ooh. Took a lot of time for Kenny to adapt to being on US TV. Being a US TV wrestler, even in AEW, it's different than the New Japan model. Yes, I will agree with you on that, David. That's why at times certain wrestlers, I will say, and I'm sure I'm going to take flack for it, but guys that wrestle in New Japan don't always transfer super well. Well, I will say on one hand, they don't always transfer super well to weekly U.S. television. They transfer good to a one-off event like Ring of Honor when they were with New Japan, when they did their cross-promotion event, Forbidden Door 1, etc. Because it's such a different style that it throws everybody off, and you kind of have to react to it because it's so unique and it's something we haven't seen. And that's just being a fan of, I guess, New Japan Wrestling a little bit. But we've got the Creeds playing darts with Gallus. Why?
But if you're the greatest of all time, that shouldn't matter. You should be able to adapt.
Oh, I wouldn't say Kenny is the greatest of all time.
Well, that's what I've been hearing from a lot of people. He's the greatest of all time. Or he's the greatest professional wrestler.
He at one point, and I will say at one point, because I don't think he currently is, he was the best, because he hadn't gotten to a U.S. audience. He was the best professional wrestler. And I say that knowing that term and that connotation versus, say, sports entertainer, wrestling athlete, what have you. He was the best professional wrestler going at one point in time.
I would have to disagree with that.
Go back and as much as we go at, and
you think he's a better wrestler than Daniel Bryan?
When did we tune on NXT, by the way, and a whole episode of Sopranos? Like, when did we switch to like HBO Max or something like that right now? Because we've got Tony and Halfstack there confronting Gallus and also the Creed brothers. And now we've got, betting on a game of darts here.
So my question to you is, do you think he's a better wrestler than Bryan Danielson?
At a time, he was better.
Seriously.
I'm saying, listen to the words that I am saying. I'm not saying overall.
Bryan Danielson is like
collective. I'm not saying if you took their collective careers. We had Wesley coming out. By the way, we are in commercial break because we're going through this whole discussion, I guess. But at a time, Kenny Omega was the best professional wrestler in professional wrestling. Again, I'm not saying career overall. I'm not saying greatest of all time. I'm saying at a time, much like how you could say Daniel Bryan at a time, Roman Reigns at a time, MJF at a time. But the last two probably at this time, the best professional wrestlers going. I think there is it's not an MJ LeBron type debate. To me, it's more of who was the best for a season, for a couple seasons, what have you. It's an MVP discussion versus a greatest of all time discussion.
No, the thing is that at that time, was there another wrestler that could compete or on the same level? Or, I mean,
Kazuchika Okada is one. And at that time,
what about AJ Styles or someone like that?
AJ Styles would have been close at that time. At that time, you could have made a case for John Cena if you wanted to, I feel.
Oh, fuck that. I'm talking about wrestlers.
Hey, don't knock the 5 moves of doom.
That's the problem.
But to me, if you go back, and it could be even just particularly to a specific series or at least a particular run, and that's why I say at a time. Kenny Omega's run working up to and his trio of matches with Kazuchika Okada was some of the best professional wrestling I've watched. And I know that might be heresy. Burn me at the stake because I'm sure we're missing all the comments and everything. But to me, I will stand by that. Regardless of how we feel about Meltzer now, those were fantastic, memorable matches. That trio, that time in place.
All right, then I'm gonna have to watch those, and then I'll get back.
There we go. So see, there we go. We buttoned that argument up there.
Okay, I'll see it, but then I'll give you my opinion.
There we go. Forbidden Door 2. Mercedes Moné teams with Jade Cargill versus Camille and Mickie James. Who would win? Smile mark. I don't think that's going to happen. But if we're going with that match, then it's Moné or Money, and Jade. I feel honestly,
when I read that question, my initial reaction was, "Who cares?"
Damn, son. Cliff coming in with all the hot takes.
Sorry. No, it's not a match I'm interested in.
Steven, what up? Nick, what up? It's subjective. If you enjoy that style, Omega was great for me. Orton, Styles, Balor, Danielson are all much better professional wrestlers. Again, I'm not.
See, that's the thing. I agree with Excalibur there. That's why I was.
But that's, I think, where people are missing is what I'm saying. I'm not saying overall. I'm not saying throughout their entire career, anything like that. I'm saying for that moment in time, from probably, I'll give you 2017 to 2019, to the start of AEW. That's part of how AEW started, was because of the backing and the outcry for Kenny Omega being one of the best professional wrestlers. That's how the fucking match with him and Jericho got attention in New Japan, because at that point, Kenny Omega had established himself as one of, if not the best professional wrestlers doing it.
See, that's the argument too, that you're saying at that time, but I'm saying that at that time.
That's the argument though that I'm making.
But
that's the argument that I'm making.
You're saying is that they're better, that the other guys could be better at that time.
Oh, you're saying so you're going straight for at that time.
At that time, those wrestlers could have been better than Kenny Omega, but you're being I guess like what he said, subjective. You liked Omega's matches better probably at that time.
Oh, and now we've even got KJ popping in of Kenny Omega is not a good professional wrestler.
Thank you, KJ.
I guess Lord has spoken. Vince has spoken. As we're getting I got a video package for Lira Valkyria, and it's a little bit the Crow gimmick to me. I'm just waiting for the Sting face paint, but I've got Gigi backstage, and how do you feel about them using her as a face? I get obviously she had to be the star out of this situation, but the fact that she came out and did the whole face thing and was, oh, you don't know how bad you've had it. Oh, now we're getting her facing off with Tiffany Stratton.
I mean, I think the way they did it worked very well. I think that I forgot the other. Was it JC Lane or what's her name? What's her name?
JC Jane.
Jane, right.
Also known as Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, so I like the way they did it because I think, Gigi Dolan was already a star, and then it just made another one. So they got two out of it rather than just, dealing with one. So I think they utilized it pretty good. And then we'll see what they go with Gigi being a face.
Fair enough. I do think I like that shit they're going to put a focus on her. I'll put it that way. Yeah. I don't know if she works great as a face, but also you can't do what you're doing with JC and make that work with them both being heel. No, but I do really like, honestly, the NXT women's division. It's probably, and again, hot take, I guess, if we're the night of hot takes, that to me, they have the best women's division in professional wrestling. Top to bottom, you have Roxanne Perez, you have Tiffany Stratton.
They showcase the women like so.
You have Nikita Lyons, you have Zoe Starks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Totally.
And it could be just best built, but
even the girls that they're building up, like Sol Ruka and stuff like that, like they're building up.
They're doing it right. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yes, they are.
But I've got Wesley right now out here cutting a promo, so he's getting a whole challenge. He's getting a fatal 5-way at Stand and Deliver, and I believe every opponent's still a mystery. KJ saying dream match tomorrow, allegedly. I'm sure that's going to spark a whole conversation on Twitter. We've already had a whole debate I've seen through wrestling fans on Twitter about just the word who. I thought it would have been the word what, but no, it's the word who. Omega is not a good wrestler. He is a great wrestler. Small Mark, I knew I liked you. There's no way Gigi going to win the title because of JC Jane. Maybe. Sorry when he was being called the best bout machine. Every match had 100 V-triggers in it and such. I just don't like that wrestling psychology. I will concede that. And we've got Dragon League coming out right now.
Oh.
So, and this is a guy I think that's very clearly going to take, if he's going to have a run in NXT, he's going to take the title off of Wesley.
You think so?
I'm surprised if it wasn't for we've got to introduce him a bit. Hey, Tony, take notes. That he'd already be on the main roster. I mean, he'd be involved in the Mysterio Dominic situation. Christ, Santos already is. If you didn't know it's a dream match, they made sure to. Yeah, true. Dragon Lee in the house. Dragon Lee is here. Yes, Jordan. He showed up at NXT. Christ, why am I blanking on the? Oh, Dead and Long. No, Roadblock. So Dragon Lee already announcing that he's going to be in the match. I'm fine with that. Like I said, I think he wins. In the future, I want to see Dragon Lee versus Carmelo Hayes. I think we'll get that at some point. Might be on the main roster, though.
Yeah.
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 So Dragon Lee's got the first spot. They made it official. And who's coming out? Oh, so now JD's coming out. So we're going to just have everybody announcing who the participants for in this match are right now. It's the Lees putting each other over. I will give JD credit on that. Small mark. Who is Dragon Lee and why so much hype? All right, I see what you did there. Dragon Lee was a wrestler in CMLL and AAA and also in New Japan. He was part of Los Ingobernables de Japan. And he was one of their better, if not upper echelon junior heavyweights, and WWE signed him. There we go. I understand. Like I said, I know what you did there. And there you go. And I get why people, when it comes to El Vikingo, El Hio, Del Viking, etc., that people get upset of, well, you have a phone, you could just Google it. But they have done more to build Dragon Lee being on NXT than they have with Vikingo being on AW and especially facing Kenny Omega. As now we're getting Ilia coming out. So like I said, is this just the parade of challengers? Wesley's doing a good job with his promo alongside Lee. Yeah, we got that Lee on Lee action. I'm so excited to see Dragon Lee in NXT. I was a fan of Drago from Lucha Underground. Fair enough. Here's the next member of Judgment Day I predict. Excalibur, who? JD? Dragon Lee? Ilia? But, well, up next, folks, strap on and strap in as we're heading to a commercial right now. But absolutely, up next, I thought it was going to be a parade of challengers, but up next, we're getting Ilia versus JD McDONAGH. And this is a match I feel is going to go back to the NXT black and gold type era, I feel. We're still within the first hour. We've got 15 minutes before we hit the hour mark. I think this is A, going to get some fucking time, and B, is going to be...
This match better get some time.
The match of the night, honestly.
This match better get the time.
Really? So then who are you taking, sir? And I will ask the fans as well. Give us your predictions in the chat.
Shoot.
Who are you taking? Damn, son.
Why do I feel like it's going to end up in disqualification?
So you think it goes no contest? Don't mind me. I got a thing in my eye.
Either no contest or JD McDONAGH or Ilia wins by DQ.
Okay, so who causes the DQ or does JD?
McDONAGH causes the DQ. He gets disqualified.
I do apologize. I feel like I have a thing in my eye. But I will take Ilia for the win. That's who I'm taking. I will take Ilia for the win because, Christ, until Dragon Lee said he was going to be involved for the North American Championship, I thought Ilia could have gone into that match, taken it and won it, and it would have made sense. I almost want to say JD because I feel like we could get this match again at Stand and Deliver. Maybe they'll give us all of it tonight. JD can take a loss more than Ilia, so I'll take Ilia with that. Either way, I think it's going to be a fucking barn burner.
Yeah, me too.
Again, I apologize.
But they got to give it the time. And if it ends up in a roll-up, I'm going to be pissed.
And if it ends in the most devastating move in professional wrestling, sorry, I'm going to just do this so I can try and... But I am still here. I don't feel like people want to watch me rub my eyeball. But I could see it. There we go. I could see it ending up in Honestly, it's funny that you mentioned it being a no contest. I could see it being something like that, to where they both is a double count out or something like that.
The thing
Because
I'm
they're both
confused
just hammering at each other, or we get the ref just calls it.
Yeah, the thing that I'm confused about is that this is the second night in the row where they kind of overlap the whole thing with the which is it, the
North American title.
North American title and their segment.
Touche.
It's bleeding into it, so it's almost like they're setting it up to be. Now it seems like they're setting it to be a fatal 4-way. I mean, between
it is supposed to be a fatal 5-way, by the way.
Okay.
It's like a 5-man shuffle, so that's why I halfway thought it was going to be the parade of challengers. I thought it could have been everybody just coming out here and saying, "I'm going to challenge you." No, I'm going to challenge you. Which, by the way, if we get Wesley, Dragon Lee, JD, Ilia all in the same match, shut up and take my fucking money, because that's going to be a hell of a match.
Yeah, it
but
is.
I think, ooh, you bring up a very valid point with that, because JD could take the win going into that if Ilia is going to say win the title there. I still think this isn't the last match between the two, so I almost want to take JD, but just because I still am holding out hope that we get Ilia versus Gunther again, or we get Ilia versus Pete Dunne versus Gunther / Walter again. Just please, WWE, shut up and take my money with that match. That he wins and we get to move up the roster, move up the main card. Good. Oh, this is terrible. They're showing Indy right now on Twitter, or the backstage video of her just going at everybody. She horribly ran up and kicked a trash bin and then threw some stuff around, and then gets into it with Zoe Starks of saying, "What are you looking at?" Clearly not the next NXT Women's Champion. Why? Jack, I think Naomi will surprise us and come back and to join the Justice Day. No, that makes all of the no sense. She joined the Bloodline before she ever joined Judgment Day, I feel. This match those 20 minutes. This match goes 20 minutes. I'm fine with that. This match, like I said, this match I felt should have been the main event. Oh, we're getting Kiana James and Fallon Henley. So we're getting, again, bar rescue of they're hiding that Kiana's messing around as the world turns.
The storyline is just giving me a headache.
That's what you lead into with Ilia and JD, which, by the way, we've got both men just throwing at each other. But so you're taking JD, I'm taking Ilia. I feel we've had a bit of a split down the middle here. I find it funny how many predictions there are for wrestlers to debut Raw, SmackDown after Mania. But it's the Raw after Mania. That tends to what happens. Indy will be main roster after Mania. Hopefully. No, Jordan, she'll join the Bloodline first. See, thank you, Jack. It was Wesley, and he picks 5 guys. I thought 6 in total. Yes, including Wesley. So we might have had already 3 of the 5 announced.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Stupid typo. Fair enough. Got JD for the win. Are you going over under? What? I'm not going under or over a cliff.
No,
I don't know why you're asking me that. What are we going over and under on?
Is he asking like, is you're cleaning your eye? No.
Oh, that? Oh, how many times I need to do that? Or are we going over and under with like chops in this? Because I've right now got JD laying in chops in the corner. Hassan, I'm feeling great. How you doing, my guy? It's a lovely Tuesday night.
We're doing great. We're doing lovely.
Already on the precipice of halfway through the week. We're just, we're on the penultimate NXT show before Sting and Deliver. And I said all those fancy multi-syllable words just for KJ. But yeah, no, I'm feeling good. this is the match I care for. This is what I tune into NXT for. This is what I'm excited for. Is we've got Dragon Lee, by the way, sitting at commentary, not talking on commentary, just sitting there. Remember when guys used to join like the Spanish announce table, like Conan and Rey Mysterio and everything?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be interesting if maybe he did something like that instead of it gives you a reason? Because I remember the Spanish announce table used to be the fucking pratfall for anything and everything in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
It wasn't a match until someone went through the Spanish announce table. Oh, big ass slaps back and forth. You make you think you're watching Dana White's power slap there.
That's fucked up.
Oh, Suplex City.
Oh, there you go. Whoa.
Ilia with another German suplex. It still makes me sad a bit that like the NXT UK title isn't a thing anymore. That these are guys that they had on the roster. They had an NXT UK and they didn't really do this shit. Like they, or if they did, they had it taped 4 weeks or more in advance. Like, why? Why? I get the times, but damn, like between them, Tyler Bate, Christ, you had Trent Seven on the roster. They had such a good depth of talent from the UK, the European scene. Christ, Gunther, Ludwig, Giovanni,
Pete Dunne,
Pete Priestley. What?
Was Pete Dunne on there? Or no?
Yeah. Well, one of the classic matches for the UK title is him versus Walter.
Gunther. Oh, Walter at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it. I saw the NXT takeover where he faced I was there live with Gunther and Pete Dunne.
Damn. So you're a master in the science of, joint manipulation?
Yeah, I witnessed it. It was a great match.
How long does this match go? Christ, Damien, you should have said that like 5 to 10 minutes earlier. Like, I don't even know how to try and gauge the time of how long it's gone, but we're still, this is A, why I think this is going to get some time, and B, I'm surprised this is going on now, because as Ilia gets dumped on the outside, as we go into now our second commercial breaker, at least for me, picture in picture, but he catches the bottom rope as well, but we're still not even in the top of the hour. And this is what you're putting on NXT. Like, you have this in the chamber, and you're going to put this on the top of the hour. I'm hoping. Covey, what up? Shout out Dirty Heels. Yes, we live, baby. Why? But I am in picture in picture. I don't know if you're in picture in picture or commercial break, sir.
I'm picture.
Fair enough. So I've got JD right now going for a 2 count. Don't remember the pay-per-view. Someone went through the Canadian table. You mean a door? I feel like after the amount of GCW shows that we've watched and everything, the Canadian table is just a door. When NXT Europe starts up, I'm curious to see who they bring back or who shifts there. That's the thing. Well, I guess a bit of what you were saying of, does William Regal head that? And well, and especially if they're in the midst of a sale, do they actually do NXT Europe? Is that just a pipe dream before Vince came back and said, I'm going to sell? The Vince came back the very next day.
Who the hell is going to buy at that price tag?
$9 billion. Yes, for the low price of $9 billion. Yes, that's B with a billion.
I don't know who can afford that other than
NBC or NBC Universal. That's where I have hoped that it goes. Who I think could afford that, we're going to watch a lot of shows from Riyadh, I feel.
Disney?
And if we're going, from Saudi, if we're talking who could afford that. Disney right now, with everything that's going on with Marvel, their own company, I don't think they want to take on anything else. Venture or whatever it was, the one that bought UFC, they're still paying off UFC. They don't want to take on that. I think the only way I could see Disney doing it is if they move it strictly to Fox. That's where they aim it, and you're taking a hit on the media rights. NBC Universal to me has the best situation in place because they already have the streaming. They already have a way to get it out there as quick as possible. They have a history. You take a hit on the media rights because you already are paying media rights for something that you would then now own. But at the same time, that's the most. That's the option I'm hoping for. Not to act like I'm any sort of a financial advisor or anything like that, but that's the option I'm hoping for.
Fair enough.
Hey, Nick, are you doing SmackDown? Absolutely. We'll be here covering anything and everything when it comes to pro wrestling. I will say this as we are in picture. We'll be back here tomorrow night for Wednesday Night Dynamite. Like I said, we got the dream match between Viking O and we've got Kenny Omega on top of everything else that's already in a stacked Dynamite. We'll be back here Thursday, not only for Ring of Honor, but also for Thursday Night Impact with Luna Havoc. We'll be back here on Friday night. I think Friday is going to be a triple header. We're going to be here for Sacrifice, SmackDown, and Rampage as well. Hopefully they don't do Rampage at midnight or anything, or maybe this is one of the Rampages they moved to NXT or to Saturday. But I know we'll be here on a Friday night, and then the weekend still kind of open. I know we'll be here at least for some XFL coverage, which, by the way, of Small Mark. Yes, again, like I said, I knew I liked you, Small Mark, of those DC Defenders are dominating XFL. Yes, they are, sir. The only undefeated team still in the XFL, unlike the Orlando Guardians. I mean, just saying. But
bro, I'm not even
instantly you went full Russo there of like, bro, like I'm not even.
I just picked it by default because the Guardians and the XFL team,
XFL 2.0, like how we had NXT 2.0, and now we got NXT 3.0, we got an XFL 3.0.
Yeah, so the Guardians used to be the New York Guardians, and that's why I picked them.
Yeah, instead you picked the fucking Wendy Chu of I guess spring league, summer league football teams.
They should have been the Orlando Sleepers.
You and KJ's Vegas Vipers were competing for who could get a win. Meanwhile, me and CJ's Battlehawks just keep going back and forth at it. We're like I've said, caca is not the law.
Just because of that, I'm going on CJ's side and rooting for the Battlehawks now.
Just now, who you should take as the Houston Roughnecks of. As somebody who's been watching the league, you should take the Houston Roughnecks. They're probably the second best team in the league.
Are they really?
Facts. They put a whooping on your team twice. But as we've been talking all over this fantastic match, by the way, we've got Ilia just laying down fucking elbows. Why?
They're not my team.
Yes, are you all going to do all of WrestleMania weekend, David? Absolutely. If you haven't already seen the videos that we have up there, go ahead and drop a like on those already, just so you can get reminded when we're here for WrestleMania weekend. But yeah, we're going to be here. We're here covering anything and everything. Christ, we're going to be here probably all day on Saturday. Like I said, we're kicking it off with some XFL coverage, then rolling right into some pre-show coverage for Stand and Deliver, rolling right through that to some games and some trivia, some ways you can win some prizes. Then we're going to be here for WrestleMania Night 1. Going to be back here Night 2, even before that again, probably some games, some trivia, some way you can win some prizes for WrestleMania Night 2. So absolutely, like I've said, and it's not a joke, it's not a gimmick, it's not often imitated, never replicated, never duplicated. We are your home for anything and everything when it comes to pro wrestling. We're here covering GCW on a Sunday night. We're here covering BCW. We're here covering Wrestling Revolver. We're here covering 3 shows within the same stream.
Pretty sure y'all not getting any sleep.
Not even a little bit. Well, sleep, what's that? Is that when you just make sure that there isn't wrestling on the inside of your eyelids? Shout out to homie in the crowd wearing a white shirt, but this is a fucking hell of a match.
It's a great match.
Those Orlando Guardians are the Barry Horowitz of XFL. Yes. Damn, Battlehawks, caca. Yeah. Well, you got your fucking wings clip with the DC Defenders, I'll tell you that.
There you
go. Rampage might actually be good this week on Saturday, considering no SmackDown. So you think it's just going to be good just because it's going not opposed to SmackDown? Like, no, just because it doesn't have anything against it doesn't make it good. I can't wait to see the Rock and Roll Express for this versus the Powers of Pain in the final match July 1st on Battlegrounds Championship Wrestling. Did we take a fucking DeLorean to go back and watch when both those teams were in their fucking heyday? Yes, wait, Ilia versus JD is still happening. Yes, it is. Oh, as JD catches him. Trying to lock in the submission hold. Yes, for WrestleMania weekend. Yes. Or the LA night. Yeah. The Sandman versus Alpha Jr. Yes, I did see that as well. As Ilia raining out shots. Ilia versus Cody. Maybe we'll get there. Anything you're not going to cover at WrestleMania weekend? Do you want the long answer or do you want the short answer? Because they're both the same. No. I'll say that. Fair enough. You could say Ilia versus JD is like NXT's version of Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Little bit. Oh, wouldn't mind seeing another Gunther versus Dragunov match. Same. That's why I want Ilia on the main roster. God damn, these men are just slapping the dogs. Oh, and now we roll out under Dragon Lee. So, like I said, if we're setting up for them to be involved in the match with Wesley.
What I figured.
Oh, right hand from JD onto Dragon Lee. But see, JD's not as good of a boxer as Logan Paul because he didn't knock him out. Oh, you called it! Cliff Stradamus strikes again.
I called it.
No contest too.
I called it.
As both men start throwing shots with Dragon Lee, and then Wesley out of nowhere with the dive bomb sent on. And all heck is breaking loose right now. We've got Wesley, Dragon Lee, JD, Ilia, all just throwing shots at all of each other. And we just cut to the back of sad Braun Breaker looking at us.
Sad Braun Breaker. He does look sad.
Yep, they still won't call me a Steiner. Why? Banger after banger after banger. What? Or if you ask Sheamus, backstabber after backstabber after backstabber. It never runs opposed to SmackDown. Yes, I cover it live. Like, we cover it live. Yes, I know it doesn't run opposed to it, but it has to compete with it. Even the Chase U section giving a standing ovation. Fair enough. Tiffany, what up? I'm looking forward to Bloodsport 9 on the same night as Multiverse. Keep saying it, and I keep talking KJ into we're going to do it live. Because, yeah, I like Bloodsport. If you haven't noticed, I tend to like the hardcore stuff. But yeah, anyway, no, Bloodsport's always fantastic. And even if we don't manage to fit it in when it's fully live, if there's some stuff we might have to rearrange or anything like that, we'll be here. We're doing a live watch along 100% with anything and everything, as we're getting a replay of now I don't know if you've seen this. I think this aired on either SmackDown or Raw, so I don't know if you've seen this now. Where they're doing all these WrestleMania and Hollywood type segments, and now we've got Ridge imitating Steve Carell in 40-year-old version when we were in full convinced that it should have been Drew. Big Daddy Drew McIntyre should have been out there, the one that very clearly, knowingly has the chest hair.
That's actually funny.
Yeah, instead he's got a plastered on, like, the short and curlies there. Sean Gone, Van Dam, Bloodsport, champ for life. Fair enough. Braun looking like Cora left him. Sad Braun. Yeah, fair enough. This parody is decent. It's one of my favorites, I feel, just because.
I think this is the best one.
Well, it's because you can't help but laugh at this shit. Like, Ed Sheeran instead of Kelly Clarkson.
That's great. That's the best one they've done.
But it's still, well, it's so cheesy, but at the same time, it's the cheese makes it funnier a little bit.
Yeah. But also, all those guys are likable, so like.
No. So, who do you think then wins the triple threat between Drew, Sheamus, and Gunther? Then, sir, as we are on commercial break, I will remind people.
The fan in me wants to say Sheamus is going to finally become the Triple Crown champion that he wanted to be.
He's already won the IC title. He's a quadruple.
He hasn't won the IC title.
Oh, fuck yeah. Shit. Sorry. Language. The whole build into them at Clash of the Castle.
Yeah. He has not won. It's the one title that's eluded his whole career.
The one.
Yeah. The one. So the fan in me would like to see him, win that, because it would be like a feel-good WrestleMania moment,
So,
and another part of me wants to see
Sheamus pins Drew. Gunther isn't even involved. We still keep kind of Gunther strong if he didn't take the L fully.
Yeah, and Gunther. Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening, or I could see Gunther winning again.
Fair enough.
I say Sheamus wins it.
I almost
just because I want him to win it.
No, you're not wrong at all, and I really hadn't even considered that. I think my initial gut reaction was Drew wins, just because Drew, they always still try and make good on his 2020 title run that didn't get what it deserved. I feel because of May 19th. But I very much could see Sheamus picking up the win. I think Gunther's, oddly enough, the least favorable option in that whole situation.
And the best part about it is that, like, I forgot who said it, but someone said Sheamus pins Drew for it. They could keep Gunther strong and give him a main event push afterwards, because he's done so well as an IC champion, and he's actually given it. I think he's actually given it more meaning to the belt recently.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and then we just fully live out the whole Captain America versus, Hydra storyline between Cody Rhodes and Gunther.
Well, I mean, they had an amazing match. That ending of Royal Rumble. It's like almost like it was like a foreshadowing to what could be.
Yeah, but so that was a weird situation it felt like a Cody layup, but that's the thing, is Gunther could have a good match with a lot of people. Cody could have a good match with a lot of people. What if even still Roman retains and we don't drop the title at WrestleMania? Because I've heard once he drops the title, he's probably off until at least SummerSlam, maybe later.
Dropping the title.
You think he is, or you don't think he is?
I think he is. I think he's dropping the title.
You don't think he maybe retains and we get, say, a Jey Uso or a maybe somebody like that. That's the one that takes it off of him. Of like KJ said, if we get that Denzel Training Day segment of King Kong ain't got shit on me.
See, that's the beauty of it, because you can go any way. Any of those sound good. But in my opinion, I think that Cody's gonna take it.
Fair enough. Oh, here's your guy. Turtleneck and all. So is Axiom going to make himself the last member in this match?
It's got to be.
Yeah, because we need, high flying ladder spots, 100%. Records are not sacred anymore in WWE. That's a lie. Oh, we're going to have a battle royal to decide the 5th member in the match for the North American Championship. Oh, as we've got Johnny Gargano coming out. So Ilia versus JD actually took us through the top of the hour. Oh, what the fuck? Ooh. So Johnny's music hits and Apollo Wono, Javier.
Who?
Yeah, Javier Bernal comes out. I almost said Javier Bardem, but I mean, like you said, he's halfway out here looking like Apollo Ono. But what the fuck?
I've never seen this guy before. Who is he?
You speak for the large majority of people right now. The only thing I can say is be glad it's not Quincy Elliott.
That's a big guy.
WWE trying to rewrite history to get away from the non-PC PG era of wrestling. I don't fully think that. I think it's just at times records are made to be broken a little bit. I could see halfway where you could make the argument, but you do also have some people that warrant that. Big body Yavi. Oh, big smell of nothing. You're the heart and the soul of NXT. Is that why you can't be seen? Because you're inside always? No one sees you? Everything. But anyways, he's getting his butt kicked. Javier, yeah. Javier is a decent wrestler. Debatable. Gunther should retain or Drew should win it, turning in the process. So we get heel Drew McIntyre. Oh, now we get, in case you didn't pop the first time you heard Gargano's music, now you're going to pop again because we're hearing it a second time. I don't like that who Johnny Gargano is, that we need to have him come out and just beat up a fucking jobber to make him seem credible with Grayson Waller. Like that we need to do that shit to big him up. Like this is Johnny Gargano. This is a guy who you had as NXT champion. This is a guy you had matches upon matches with Adam Cole. This is a guy who you thought was going to be, the little guy that could, the Mighty Mouse that would move up to the main roster and make a statement. As he just lays waste to Javier and just sends him a packing. So we've got Johnny calling out Grayson Waller right now. Why not send your spooky serial killer, the friend that you have that can sit there and kidnap the Miz and everything like that? Why not send him after Waller? Use him as your Oogie Boogie man. Oh, so we're getting an added stipulation in the match. Waller versus Gargano. In an unsanctioned match.
Oh. Oh,
what you do, Basil?
yeah.
So, no DQ, no holds barred, a lights out of how many different acronyms, the different names do we need to put on the same thing? Oh, we've got Waller backstage right now. You want to embarrass yourself in an unsanctioned match?
Mm.
As he's wearing a Candace shirt, I believe. By the way, he's got somebody on his shirt. I don't want to speculate, but this feels like they're a little bit reaching for that vibes of like when Danielson called out MJF to an Iron Man match. Of I'm going to call you out to a match that you're not going to be able to hang with me on a bit. And it's like not quite. See, Steven agreed with me. Is Grayson wearing a Candace shirt? I wouldn't be surprised. He trained at Mister by way of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Mister. He trained in his school? What? Oh, and Javier pops back up after Johnny saying something about next week. I might have missed that, folks. Fact checkers, let me know. But as Piff Clip takes a pause for the cause there, absolutely. But we've got Johnny Gargano looking all sorts of aggressive into the camera right now. And we've still got about 45 minutes so far into or left in an NXT. So let me know how you think, what you're thinking, how you're feeling. Get the words out when it comes to NXT as we're getting what is happening. I thought for a second we were getting Valhalla here. We looked like we were getting we're getting dubstep Native American, which I mean I'm fine with because I like, Eddie Thorpe. Okay. I mean, I like A Tribe Called Red and all of that, or The Hallucination. But so we're getting a mix of EDM and Native debuting next week. Interesting, right before Stand and Deliver. But it's NXT seems to be doing a lot of interesting gimmicks of like how we've got I'm sure comments and everybody, all the fact checkers, going to eat me alive because I can't remember her name, but the one that's doing the streamer gimmick. But I've got Ivy Nile backstage right now because she's addressing Tatum Paxley, just up and turning on her. And for those of you who don't get exactly who I'm talking about, you're not alone when it comes to NXT. If that's the thing, is Tatum Paxley was literally halfway through the match and just decided I'm going to walk off. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Ivy Nile. Now that I feel like the Diamond Mine's fully just falling apart, falling to pieces, absolutely 100%. But we're getting Lira Valkyria versus Ivy Nile in another qualifier match. So is this where we get whoever wins this match, and then we have Roxanne Perez show up and she announces of I'm still in this, god damn it. But coming up next, folks, we've got Ivy Nile versus Lira Valkyria. So give me your predictions in the chat on who you're taking for that. I'm taking Valkyria. But still, wow, good old homie Piff Cliff there is on a pause for the cause. Let me know what you're thinking, what you're feeling on a good old Tuesday night. Booker T don't like Johnny Gargano. Well, I feel like he's halfway trying to work the heel a little bit of, shunky ducky quack quack. Steve, how's the show? It's interesting. It's one of those I feel like it may have peaked, unfortunately. I feel like I don't know how much after this is going to outdo what they did at about the halfway point, the top of the hour point. That's what it is, I feel. Maybe this guy maybe this guy joining Isla Dawn. Who? What? Eddie Thorpe. There we go. Eddie Thorpe, aka Carl Fredericks in New Japan. Interesting. Thank you, Steven, because I never made that connection of, honestly, Carl Fredericks was a guy that I knew he was, like, I'd heard of him, anything like that. I never really watched a ton of him. So to me, that's something that makes perfect sense for him to go into New Japan, of go be what WWE wants you to be, you, I guess. Of go see if you work within that system. So I'm fully fine with that. Like I said, I'll give the gimmick a chance. It's going to be interesting to see what NXT does with it. But I'll give it a chance. Valkyria for the win. Picking Valkyria. Eddie Thorpe had some matches already on NXT Level Up. Damien, you know good and hell well that half the time, outside of us trying to poke fun at Quincy Elliott, we ain't watching that. We cover enough wrestling as it is. Sometimes you can't fit it all in. I do not want to see JD versus Dragunov on my screen. JPCY was a fantastic match. Like I said, probably so far match of the night, honestly. Would any wrestler beat Brock Lesnar in a power slap bout? Maybe Omos, or, I mean, if you want to still count him as a wrestler, Paul White, The Big Show, Captain Insano, just because that's getting hit in the face with a fucking paddle. Like, that's getting hit in the face with an oar. That's not just a regular hand slap in your face. But Brock Lesnar does have fucking lunch boxes for fists, I feel. Ivy now for the win during a betrayal on Valkyria. So who does the betrayal? What? I think, honestly, Valkyria might win because of a betrayal from Tatum Paxton and Ivy now. What? That might be on a pre-show either. That might be a match either next week, or it might be a match on a pre-show for Stand and Deliver, I feel. Lira, so everybody going Lira. Omos would win that one. Could. I wouldn't rule Brock out, though. Prime Terry Funk could. I don't know about that. I think that man just might have not fallen down. This might have been how he would have wanted of just. I don't know if he's got cement blocks on his feet or, stilts that he's on, but that man just would have not gone down. That's what I feel. But as we've got, I swear to God, I literally thought it was Seth Rogen. Why am I blanking on this man's name? Hank the Tank, fucking discount Seth Rogen here. Fact checkers. But we're getting build up a whole video package for him. Why? There we go. Hank Walker. Seth Rogen reject. Hank Walker. How can you have a name like Hank Walker and just look like that? It looks like you should, look like Walker, Texas Ranger. But so he's got, okay, so he was an actual former NFL athlete and everything. So they're actually trying to act like, okay, well, he finally started as an actual wrestler. That's cool. Maybe if you would have done this on Level Up instead of NXT, much like how Tony should do some stuff on Dark instead of on Dynamite or Rampage, I think you could have that would have been a little bonus DLC you could have had for some people, and they would have you could have started on NXT just already coming out as a badass instead of Seth Rogen. I remember when Andrade hit the face of Alfred entirely with his hand. Andre. You mean with Mean Gene? Not Alfred. NXT is fantastic tonight. Alexander, what up? I think you're even more excited than I am. Hank the Tank, baby. Chris even more excited than that. Hank the Tank and Brooks and Dunn. Oh my God, just call it fucking Yellowstone then. Bobby Lashley would it be a wild card power slapper 2, big strong neck, Otis maybe. I would take Bobby Lashley over Otis when it comes to that. But we've got Gulak and Charlie Dempsey right now backstage, and Dempsey with all of the shitty spray tan out here just looking like dirty William Regal, I guess. Who was coming out? Oh, so we've got, God damn, that's a impressive entrance. Got Lira Valkyria coming out here, getting the full Finn Balor treatment coming out of the smoke, and she's looking back through gorilla position. Like, that's a unique ass entrance, and that's a fucking badass entrance, I feel. So if you haven't done so already, folks, give me your predictions, who you're taking. Lira Valkyria or Ivy Nile. I think it's obviously got to be Valkyria. Cacaw. See, this is where Cacaw can be the law. Not when it comes to playing football in St. Louis or against the DC Defenders. This is where Cacaw is the law. Gets power slapped by Andre. I don't know why I keep wanting to read it on like Andrade. Yeah, no, I think I would have just been waking up. Have you ever seen that Family Guy episode where they roast Seth Rogen? The Seth Rogen gene gave Peter the appearance that he has. Funny enough, though he isn't. Fair enough. Biggest hands for wrestling. Fair say. I heard that the WWE is releasing more talent this year. Who is on the chopping block in NXT? I don't want to speculate on any of that. I don't, until I see it cross my interwebs, I don't want to speculate on anybody being out of work. I don't want to speculate on anything like that, because as much as at times I may joke with people, I may poke fun at stuff, what have you, I don't ever want to see a professional wrestler out of work or anything like that. Like, I don't want to gas at people losing their jobs. I'll say that I wouldn't want that reverse, so I don't want to do that personally. So I don't want to speculate on any of that until I see it happen. Just call it broke back. What? Did you need me to come in? Send me an invite. Mick, no, you go right in the chat, my homie. You let everybody know, and you let everybody that you know about the Wrestling for Life Network. You good, my guy. Charlie Dempsey going to the win a title in NXT. Mark Wine words. Well, you did say a title. You didn't say the title, so I'll give you that. Oh, as we get the double high kick knockout spot, because I think someone in WWE just watched that highlight from an old MMA fight. So we randomly cut to Tatum Paxley backstage, like I said, of maybe Ivy wins this just to stick it to Tatum Paxley, but I feel like Tatum may get involved in this. Step up Inzaguri. Keyshawn, yeah. Cam Newton needs to go to the XFL. Well, no, he's trying to make a NFL comeback. And I will say this I feel like there is very clearly, there may be 32 quarterbacks better than Cam Newton right now when it comes to the NFL. Debatable with, you get guys like Aaron Rodgers getting traded to the Jets, etc. and everything. But I would not say that there is 64 quarterbacks better than him in the NFL. I think if he wanted to be a backup and was willing to take that type of role and knew he wasn't going to be a superstar, wasn't going to have the super multi-million-dollar contract, is Ilia Lira Valkyria picks up the win right now. But if he was willing to do that, I think he 100% would be on an NFL roster. I think Cam's problem is he still wants to be a starter, and at this point, he's not a starter. I'll say this as a Buffalo Bills fan, and again, you can burn me at the stake, what have you, of I guess we might be the land of hot takes here. But that was a shitty-ass spinning heel kick. That looked delayed and looked like a mile away. Now I see why we still have a few select matches of Lira Valkyria. But she solidified her spot in the NXT Women's Championship ladder match with her, Tiffany Stratton, Gigi Dolan, and Zoe Stark. Oh, we got a flash and a bang. And we got a flash and a bang, and we bring back.
Oh, what's up? I'm back.
What? But we've got also we had Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. There we go. We'll get there. Jump in Fallon Henley and then Tatum or Kiana James comes in to make up the fucking save. Christ, there's too much drama to try and remember who's who.
I can't keep track.
Fair enough. I feel like I was going on the whole point and completely lost track.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking, or what I was talking about. If Cam won't take the backup role, though, that's his issue. Fair enough, Steven. You 100% agree with me. Like I said, I, as a Bills fan, would welcome him as, say, a backup role on Buffalo. If a mobile quarterback like that can still just slang it and everything.
Wait, we're talking about Cam Newton?
Yes, sir.
Why would the Buffalo Bills need him?
No, because we somehow got on that topic. Don't bother how. And then it became as to Cam wanted to still be a starter, and I was saying, well, no, he could work as a backup, but he doesn't want to be a backup. So that's what I was saying. Of I would take him as a backup on, like, as a Bills fan, or Christ, as a sideways Seattle fan. Like, I would take Cam as a backup on Seattle. Like, Cam Newton would be a good backup quarterback to have. He's not a good starting quarterback right now.
But that's the problem. He doesn't see himself as a backup, probably. So.
Right. Well, and then Jordan saying Jordan Tiamo might be better. Maybe. Well, he's very much. That's the thing that I halfway like about the DC Defenders. Of I feel like they're the Buffalo Bills of the XFL, of with the beer snake, the throwing lemons, 100%. But we're gonna ground and pound. We're gonna run the ball, and hey, guess what? We're gonna run the ball, and you're gonna have to judge. You're gonna have to guard every single player on the field because we're going to run the ball with every single player on the field. And then when you think we're going to run the ball, we're going to sit there and dink, dunk, and dime it and drop a dime in the end zone. So Alba and Nile going to win the tag belts. Fair enough. I thought so. I thought Alba could have won the NXT Women's Championship by now.
Going back to the XFL,
was
there any reason why they didn't go big market? Like, they didn't make a New York team, or
I feel like they still wanted to stay at halfway safe. Granted, the ratings have not been good, so I feel like it wouldn't have helped them if they went super big market. And also, they have the deal with the NFL a little bit of being halfway developmental. They have the deal with ESPN/Disney. So they stuck to markets that they know would work. And then they were hoping that this would maybe allow them to expand, I guess.
I mean, you've been following them more than I have. You said ratings are not as good as they should be, or
not at all. Actually, if you really want, I can pull up the last ratings for the last games here if we want to go into that real quick here. I have XFL. So this is going back as to XFL Week 2. XFL Week 2 average 655,000 viewers, which is a 50% drop from Week 1 of 1.3 million, and a 68% drop from the 2020 XFL, which had 2.1 million in Week 2 and 3.1 million in Week 1. And 2022 XFL, it took till Week 5 before they dropped even below 1 million. Now we're almost on that line. Now we're through Week 4. We just had, I believe, Week 5.
No, but that goes back to my question. Do you think that the reason why the previous XFL did better because they were in those big markets and you have more people watching.
I think it could have also a little bit been a bit of timing of a bit when they were on is when people had no choice but to be at home and watch things.
And then also on top of that, I feel like it was marketed better.
But see, it comes down to, and I know we're going fully off tangent while we are on a commercial break, folks. By the way, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. But so we're advertising Bad Bunny not only hosting Backlash from Puerto Rico, but he's also going to be on the SmackDown beforehand. But when they had games like DC versus Vegas on ESPN or ESPN2, and you had St. Louis versus Arlington in week 4 on ESPN2, they did 691,000 and 572 respectfully. When you had the games on XFL or on FX, they did 343 respectfully and 405,000 respectfully. So it's the fact a bit that they have it on a network that no one's going to looking for football. Yeah. But we have Junior confronting Wesley backstage, and now we've got a sneeze too. So everybody's going to be in the Battle Royal.
That's how Dabakato should have been booked from the beginning.
Well,
and they gave him the sneeze. I mean, they did good in the beginning, but then gave him
and Strowman as a tag team would have been impressive as shit.
Yes, it would have been. I agree.
We're having the great debate on teaching methods between Schism and Chase U.
Yeah, bro, she's extra, man. Just watching her just like totally killed like half my energy already.
Really? I thought you were a big fan on Chase U and you're instantly sourpussing on it. I like why am I blanking on her name? Fact checkers help me out there. The cheerleader from Chase U. I like Eva Rain, obviously. Thea Hale, there we go. Thank you. I like both of them, but we've got Duke Hudson versus one half of the Grizzly Young Vets right now. Duke just I do like this for Duke because I feel like this is giving him a bit of a Wade Barrett vibe, a Wade Barrett feel of it. He's starting to get a little bit of an out here.
Yeah.
Here, I'll let you talk about this while I go take a very brief pause for the cause here.
Oh, this right here. XFL needs a consistent schedule every Thursday, 2 games, same time would help. But the tradition. We're really used to watching football Thursday and grow and be better in the season. How do I feel about that? XFL needs a consistency. Same channel. No, I'm going to have to agree with that. Nothing wrong with Thursday night football, and I think that's what better to waste time on a Thursday night than watch football and be consistent? Yeah, I can go with that. I agree, Small Mike. We got this is the thing here with the hair. Just too much freaking energy for me. Now we got Andre Chase. Oh, shoot, I always forget his name. Just listening into this. Oh, look at that. Now I'm just blanking on his name too. Oh, Tyler Bate, that's right. Tyler Bate. Interesting that he's all a part of this now.
Why?
We got Tyler Bate up here.
He looks like someone that's like just walked out of like a Buddhist temple. I don't mean to.
Right, like I to be honest with you.
I feel like he should just end everything that he's about to say with like namaste.
Yeah, I don't know if I love this right now.
I don't know if you can hear this right now because you're very pixelated and very delayed. Don't know, Mick. Fair enough. It would make more sense because Ilia sent JD out to NXT UK. All that. But yeah, Tyler Bate out here just laying the smacketh down. Curious how XFL performs opposed to the USFL. Oh, don't say that too loud. Cage is gonna yell at me about watching football with wrestling. We mentioned the USFL around the XFL here, but I do keep seeing those advertisements. I'm very interested. Very interested. Let me know, Steve. Fair enough, Mick. You do you, boo boo. Sorry, I don't know why JD and E are in the North American title ladder match. Because they're going after the title. I don't know how else to tell you outside of the going after the title. Like, what would you have them do? Honestly, Jack. Steven just shouting out Joe Gacy. Damien, my pick for the Battle Royal next week is Axiom doesn't make sense. Well, that depends on who you ask. If you ask me, I say hell no. If you ask Cliff, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, see? Yeah, Cliff is just fully of on board the Axiom train. But so we ended the debate between Chase U and Schism, and I don't know who won and who lost. I'm sad I didn't get the happy go or the Billy Madison moment of what you just said was the dumbest thing, and we're all a little bit stupider now having to hear that in a great debate. But coming up next, as we are in commercial break, we've got Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker versus Pretty Deadly. So let me know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, folks. Let me know a prediction on that match. Let me know what you're feeling on a Tuesday night. Let me know how you're feeling about the stream. What? Since in voted for Chase U. Where is Nick gonna pizza? That's a good question. I ask myself that many times. As a good Italian man, I do ask myself, where am I going to pizza?
There's only one place. New York.
Absolutely. Well, as someone who lives in the New England area, that you can't find, sadly, any equivalent outside of maybe I've heard of a grocery store nearby that might do something closer. You have to get, I guess now, the Pizza Hut Big New Yorker or the Domino's Brooklyn style.
That's not real pizza, man.
Yeah, well, when you only got certain options, my guy. Sometimes you got to make it do what it do, baby. I thought that was supposed to be a debate. It kind of was. At Stand and Deliver, winner takes control of Chase U. Fair enough. Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker for the win. I did enjoy pizza. I have enjoyed pizza myself as well. I'm sure Cliff has in
I
the
enjoyed
past,
it.
and I'm sure I will continue to enjoy pizza.
My entire life.
Now that we keep talking about this, I feel like I need to fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and enjoy pizza later tonight somehow.
Didn't I get you in the mood for pizza last week? I think I did.
It kind of happens when you get two New York Italians together and everything. Of at the bare minimum, if it's not some sort of Italian dish that you get them in the mood for, you at least get them in the mood for a fucking slice of pie. So
that's right.
Cliff sounded like a pixelated Wookiee. So I'll leave it up to you, sir, if you need to take a pause to maybe try and adjust yourself.
I'm sorry, sir.
I
think I'm good now. I mean, it was probably before.
Oh no, right now, sir. I haven't. You went about 30 seconds before I saw your head move.
Really?
Right. So I'm gonna let you take a pause for the cause, and maybe see if you can adjust your stuff. I don't know if Cliff still has that right now. He might have it on standby right now. I think he's got some other issues you got to deal with first, though. What I would love is Ilia and JD McDONAGH doing at Stand and Deliver is a loser leaves NXT match and JD winning this time, and Ilia goes to SmackDown. But you could do that still. Like, you don't have to have a loser leaves town match for someone to get moved up. That's the situation, I feel. Carmelo going to leave Braun. Braun still wins, though. Fair enough, Steven. When will we see Ava Rain debut wrestling? They're sure taking their time with her. I think she's had at least one match so far. Again, I say one match. But I think she, like I said, yeah, I think she's at least debuted. Yeah, she hasn't really wrestled a ton. Maybe they're just still letting her grow, letting her develop, because I mean she is a bit green. Loser leaves town, ruins the surprise that someone's showing up to Raw or SmackDown. True say, Excalibur. NXT 10 plus tonight. No, man. Instantly, Steven comes back and says, have that. But so we're now getting a replay of. I feel like I'm watching an extended clip, a deleted scene from Boondock Saints here. We've getting pool balls and huevos. We're getting everybody just smashed, you know. Nice place you got here, fellas. Yeah, I feel like I said, I feel like the extended scene of how everybody in the bar on Boondock Saints like should have gone a bit, because we've got Julius Creed with a fucking pool triangle on his head. Julius is shirtless. Pause. Dominoes for 5 days, and they just got taught. Fair enough. Yeah, trust me. The Mrs. Big Nick, I'll say that. Pause. That's an awkward ass way to say that. But she's a fan of the tots there. Pizza Mania, that sounds like a great time. Oh, better than Pasta Mania with Hulk Hogan. That'll be my thing when Wrestling for Life Network, when we keep, we pop off even to the point we're up there with Hulkamania and all of that. I'll just be there with, me, KJ, CJ, and Cliff will all be there, and Christ, even LJ, all of that. We'll be there with slices of pizza. We'll just have Pizza Mania instead of Pasta Mania. Actually, fun facts there. When it comes to your WrestleMania snacks, when we're here doing the live streams and everything, get yourself, a pie or two from your local pizza shop. You can get yourself that big ass bag of popcorn. like Becky had on Monday Night Raw. But yes, so Chase U and Tyler Bate versus Schism 8-person tag team match. Winner is in control of Chase U. So shit, you know that Chase U or that Schism winning that, and we're getting the NXT Women Tag Team titles being defended against Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. We've got the NXT Tag Team Championship getting defended in a triple threat between the Creed brothers, Gallus, Tony D'Angelo, and Stacks. Sorry, excuse me. But this NXT Stand and Deliver card is very much filling out tonight, as we are only little under 2 weeks away from Stand and Deliver live on Saturday, the same Saturday as night one, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, folks. It will already be on before here. So, like I said, don't worry. Go ahead, get your snacks, get your popcorn situated, get your everything situated, get your snacks, your drinks, all that, strap on and strap in, let's all go to the lobby before you tune in when we're here on WrestleMania weekend covering anything and everything. But I've got Pretty Deadly coming out right now. And speaking of coming out right now, I'm going to try this and see if it works. But I got Clipstradamus coming back right now. Yes and no. Say something now.
What do you want me to say?
Anything.
Okay.
Literally, show us that you exist, and I'm trying to see if it delays.
I'm here. I'm alive. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're a little delayed.
In
the motion here. I sent you a voice message, Steve. Fair enough. Hopefully it was nice. Last member will be Scripps Unmasked. You mean just Reggie? You can just say Reggie. Like, Scripps is terrible as it is anyways. You were vitamined as a kite last night and got the Pizza Hut melts. Killer Munchies. Excalibur, shout out. Them's is good eats. But I respect the vitamin game. 100%. Christ, y'all not helping my waistline here. Out here just trying to make Italian ordered fucking pizza here. I'm not Mario, and that's not Luigi. Chris, that would be the Ministry of Grayness. Or Grayness. Sorry. Grayness is what I said. Isla Dawn and Alba should merge with Schism and make a big group. They can be like a version of Ministry of Darkness. No, they could be the fucking goth kids from South Park. That's what it would be. Just burn down the hot topic. But I've got Carmelo Hayes coming out right now, sir. What you got? Yeah, we got a Windows message. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire versus Coven, Kylan King, and Taylor Wilde. Well, now you're just fantasy booking here. But I've got Brawny. Well, it's not Brawny the Strongman. It's Brawny the Breaker coming out right now. So give me your predictions, folks, whether you're taking the how will they coexist of Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes as they're about to face each other at Stand and Deliver for the NXT Championship versus Pretty Deadly. I feel a little bit like the tag team that's already been an established tag team should pick up the win here, but I feel like that's not going to happen here. Cliff Street having a meltdown. A little bit, I feel.
Very much so. Mm-hmm.
And that's what that's what happens, folks, when you're live as much as we are. Like I've said, nobody covers professional wrestling like we do. Nobody does it at the level that we do. Of this is what happens when you're live all the time. Of you get anything and everything. You get all the uncut, the unfiltered, the uncensored, extra bonus features. I'm going to do that for you, sir. But so, folks, you got me riding along with you as we've got Pretty Deadly versus Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker right now. I've got Carmelo, and I want to say Elton Prince, but I know I'm wrong with that. But let me know who you're taking for this. Spinach feta bread from Domino's is fire. Boo earns on that. I'm very much of a bacon Philly steak, like jalapeno, all of that. Just give me meat, pause, and spice. What? That's how I market of it's my pizza. Are we ever going to see Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch in a singles one-on-one match? Probably not. Honestly, at this point, probably not. I wouldn't bet my money on that. I wouldn't wait on that. I wouldn't hold my breath for that. None of that. I think the most you could maybe get that is in a tag match at this point. I feel like that ship has sailed. Thin crust chicken Alfredo pizza, add bacon and red peppers is a cheat code too at Domino's. Listen, if we're gonna start going through orders, if y'all stay around, I'll give you my cheat code or my order when it comes to Domino's and when it comes to Pizza Hut. I guess we'll go that way. I'll even pull up the app, everything like that. I'll read off what would be my order. But I don't know. I do respect the game with the thin crust and the chicken or the Alfredo sauce. I do like the CBR, chicken bacon ranch type pizza. God damn, Braun just throwing Carmelo. So Pretty Deadly just wiped out right now. Oh, we got the stereotypical back-to-back spot. Ron just covers his head. Rock covers or paper covers rock. But we're heading to picture in picture right now, folks, as we've got about 3 minutes left here. I want to see Mercedes Moné versus Mickie James. I don't. I have seen Mickie or Mercedes Sasha's comments on all of that if she wants to retire Mickie, this, that, and the third, etc., etc., etc. I don't want to see that. I'm not interested in that. I think Sasha at this point just kind of wants to do everything that she thinks she couldn't have done under WWE and just never really went for or whatever. Like, she's like that kid that has never been to an arcade before, so now they want to play all the fucking games, I feel. And it's not gonna that to me doesn't work well. Of her match already with Kyrie wasn't a great match. Let's be honest, outside of the fact that it was Mercedes Moné, outside of the fact that it was Sasha Banks in New Japan, that was not a good match. And the fact that now we act like she's in this upper echelon when it comes to female competitors across professional wrestling, to me, I think is a little bit of a joke at this point. She's literally only considered there because of name value, not because of anything she did in ring. That's not being said that what she's done in ring wouldn't lead her to that point, but the fact that everybody hangs with bated breath on everything she says is literally just because it's Sasha Banks in Japan. That's what it is. That's the whole gimmick. That's the whole shtick. That's the whole appeal. Beyond that, really don't care. Really not into it. Really not buying it. Honestly, personal preference. But where was it? I was going to say, speaking of personal preferences, we've got picture in picture, but I've got Lira saying, Mark, I actually go cheeseless with my Domino's. You go cheeseless on a pizza? What? What in the Rudy Blue hell? Stand and Deliver should be a great pay-per-view. Ladder match will be fun. Yes. Any NXT ladder match, especially at the pay-per-views, always fantastic. Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes at Stand and Deliver will be a banger. Yes, it will. Mickie James is a superior wrestler than Sasha. Mickie James is among the best female wrestlers of all time. True to say. I agree with you. Clinton, what up, homie? Yo, it's official. Ospreay has been pulled from Multiverse United and has been replaced by Tanahashi, so Ospreay is injured and will not be able to compete. Yes, I thought you had mentioned before that it might have been Ibushi that was replacing him. But yeah, I did see that Tanahashi very much stepped up and volunteered to replace him. And we also had Sonata win the J Cup. So we're going to get Sonata versus Okada. And maybe they'll play in Agata Davida with Sonata and Okada. We're going to have them facing each other for the IWGP Championship at some point. No cheese on pizza is like getting a burger with no meat. Exactly. Thank you, Excalibur. Heresy right there. As I've got Carmelo with, a slingshot suplex for a 2 count. Damn, he just suplexed, springboard suplexed, or sit down suplexed. Half a Pretty Deadly on the other half for a 2 count. Sorry off topic, but come on, Team USA, we losing to Japan 7-3, or bottom of the 7th, 3-1. There we go. I actually do have that pulled up. Yes, we are right now. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out. We are down 3-1. Granted, not gonna lie, I'm not super excited about the World Classic. I might be the 1 outlier, but yeah. Well, we got Grayson Waller responds to Johnny Gargano next week, and we've also got the 20-person battle royal to decide who's the 5th entrant in the NXT North American Championship ladder match, or Fatal 5-Way, sorry. Think I'm prone to go out. Cheese has too much bad fat. Well, Larry, that's a you problem. Respectfully. I love you, but that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem. Only Swiss and Parm. So fucking do Parm, my guy. Anyways. No cheese pizza, just a tomato pie. Fair enough. Sonata versus Okada will be interesting. I think we're gonna get Finley versus ELP 2 with that whole deal heating up. Fair enough. As I've got Pretty Deadly right now, just wailing away on Carmelo in the corner. So we're already going over when it comes to NXT here. But it's interesting to see really now that it hasn't felt quite for a bit of that it's WrestleMania season, that it's that time of the year again, of we're going to get the really, really big show up and show out shows. And now when we're getting even this on NXT, we're getting guys who are going to be facing each other for the World Championship of how will they coexist versus former tag team champions and all that. It's starting to get a bit of that vibe. We're starting to heat up here. We're starting to percolate. Philly steak, pepperoni, spinach, red, green, and yellow peppers, no cheese. Again, you lost me with the spinach and the no cheese, but we get a 2 count from, maybe that's on Prince, the blonde one. See this, Jeff Cobb will be at Rampage in 2 weeks. I think he said to go after him. No, he's going to be on Dynamite tomorrow night when we're here live from Independence, Missouri, live covering AEW Dynamite. Jeff Cobb showing up to challenge Kenny Omega, as we're also going to have Kenny Omega versus El Hijo del Vikingo. And then Thursday, we've got Ring of Honor. We've got Impact with KJ and Luna Havoc. And then on Friday, we've got No Surrender. We've got an Impact Sacrifice, something like that. We've got an Impact pay-per-view. I'm blanking on the name here. And we've also got Friday Night SmackDown We've got AEW Rampage, which might be on a Saturday. But absolutely, folks, we're here covering anything and everything when it comes to pro wrestling. Why? You mean the hosts of Stand and Deliver? Who? What? Us? What? Maybe? WWE? What? Let us know. Hunter? What? Call my phone? What? Socials going down below. You can let us know. What? But absolutely, folks. Oh, not Rampage. Sorry, Dynamite. Yes, Dynamite. Jeff Cobb Salad. No, don't put some respect on Jeff Cobb's name. That man with the Tour of the Islands, 100% of. I thought that was a guy who could, if WWE wanted to, that you could have brought him in the bloodline. If you're going to expand this in and keep this going for a hot minute, Christ, you bring in Jeff Cobb. Christ, even if you don't want to bring him in for that, just to have him, he's a phenomenal talent as a pro wrestler. As Braun off the top rope for a 2 count. Tiffany taking Pretty Deadly. I feel like you might be in the minority here. I'm taking Carmelo and Braun. We almost had the spear onto Carmelo. But that's the thing. I think they're going to tease it off of. Oh, Codebreaker into a spear. Yeah, we're going to have one of those that's respected enough between the two. That they're going to pick it the way. That's probably a bit of why they're facing Pretty Deadly versus, say, a tag champ right now or anything like that. When he shoots, he don't miss. And Carmelo Hayes, after the tag for Braun Breaker, picks up the 1, 2, 3. So Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes, the team of How Will They Coexist, picks up the win over Pretty Deadly. And even Trick's out there like keeping a list of, are we gonna get a list of Trick? We're gonna get, Carmelo out there. But wait, why is my name on this list? Could you imagine? But yeah, I like that you had it to where the challenger and the champion could coexist. You had them working together. I dig it. I feel like you couldn't really have them take a loss, especially together. Both of them take an L right before they're going into Stand and Deliver. But we have Carmelo handing the championship to Braun. Like, I'm going to let you have that. I'm going to take that here in a minute. Why you got to show the Velcro? Don't show the Velcro on the championship. But so this is how we end NXT, folks. We've got Braun holding up the championship, just eyeing down Carmelo face to face. But folks, that is NXT 100%. That is our live stream for when it comes to NXT. So be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know your ratings. We do this at the end of every show, all the time, anytime. Let me know your ratings. Let me know what your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions, anything like that. When it comes to NXT tonight, before we hit the door. Yamashita versus Killer Kelly just got added to sacrifice. Oh, David, I'm going to have to double check you on that, but don't tease me with that because I'm a big fan of Rita Yamashita. But yeah, Pretty Deadly are fun. They remind me of if Rico had kids. Fair enough. Honestly, yeah, they're a little bit Billy and Chuck vibes. Little bit. David said, added a 10. Mick said, 10 plus tonight. Awesome NXT. Mick, are you giving that to us or are you giving that to NXT? Because I feel like we might deserve that more than NXT. Why? Fair enough. I'll give you that. I'm kind of surprised that didn't break down into a fight. No, we're going to save that. We're going to build that anticipation. We're going to set that level of respect of these men both respect each other. That's how you halfway start to turn Carmelo a bit of a baby face, and you still don't really bring Braun down of having to work the heel in the match. That's how I respect you, bro. Excalibur saying that was a 7.5 out of 10. But folks, like I said, that was NXT. I will remind you, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. As I'm apologize, I'm doing a thing. But we are the Wrestling for Life Network. We are here covering anything and everything when it comes to pro wrestling. Still just barely over a year old. Already hit that 1.5. Still trying to keep growing, keep it moving. How you doing? So absolutely, if you haven't done so already, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. If you know somebody that's a wrestling fan, if you're in a group chat of wrestling fans, if you're in a social media platform with wrestling fans, do us a solid, do us a favor, share that link, share the channel link, all of that. But absolutely, we're here covering anything and everything. We're going to be back here tomorrow night, like I said, covering AEW Dynamite. We got the dream match, folks. We got the dream match. And then Thursday, we're going to be here covering Ring of Honor and Impact with special guest host Luna Havoc as well. And then Friday, we're going to be here for Sacrifice. What? SmackDown. What? Maybe if they have Rampage on there. If not, might we have to cover it on Saturday? What? When we're here covering XFL. So absolutely, folks. The fastest growing channel on YouTube. The alternative commentary for anything and everything. The wrestling channel, even the wrestlers tune into, the wrestling channel, even the people in attendance tune into. So if you haven't done so already, what the hell are you doing with your life? But with that being said, Small Mark says 7.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Is Braun going to take Carmelo finishing 2? What? Are you saying is he going to take him finishing the match? I mean, you did tag him in, but I mean, are you saying he's going to take his finishing move? I still would say, I mean, Braun's already lost the NXT title once before. Let's not forget that. This wouldn't be Braun is finally conquered and he's Roman Reigns and he's finally been defeated. He's lost the title before already to Dolph. So I think that he could very much lose the title to Carmelo. But did I miss Jensen and those people tonight? I think you missed a lot of people's then if you're asking if you missed Jensen, because that man was all over this. And Cliff, speaking from the great beyond, speaking from the glitchy beyond, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10, but my tech is as bad as Nos Malone segments, bar rescue segments. Get it right. He's not the only one in there. It's all bar rescue. Damien shared. I shared it to you on Twitter. That match that I sent, Nick. Fair enough, Damien. You share a lot to me. My guy, pause. Larry saying a 7 out of 10. I will. It's interesting. It was good. It had moments where it was really good. Sorry, I'm also, yeah. But at the same time, I feel like it did, and I think I kind of halfway called it of that it peaked when we had the Ilia JD match that was the end all be all for when it came to NXT tonight, and everything else either felt like we already knew what was going to happen or it didn't get over the way it should have, didn't get as big of a reaction as it should have. I think it wasn't a bad NXT. It just needed some reshuffling a little bit. And I still don't get what's going on with the whole Roxanne Perez thing of she's been cleared, but at the same time, she's not, etc., etc. But I'm going to give this, I guess we'll go with the halfway consensus pick tonight of giving this a 7 out of 10. So not great, not bad. Might be around WrestleMania season of that the ratings might be sliding a little bit higher here, I feel. Because most shows really haven't been, we're not getting any 5s or anything, thankfully, anymore. But I'll give this I'll give this a solid 7. Damien, this will be the last question that I'll answer. What match looking forward to the most tomorrow night on Dynamite? The match that I'm looking forward to the most has been the match that's the most talked about, that has had also the least amount of build, and that is El Hijo del Vikingo versus Kenny Omega. I just want to see what's going to happen, because I think it's going to halfway split the IWC. I hate using that term, but it's going to halfway split the fan base. You're going to have some people that really like it, some people that really hate it, and you're going to have some people that just can't stand that people disagree with them. But that would be the match that I'm looking forward to, because if that match had some build and had a reason for it taking place outside of just this, would be a really cool fucking match to have happen. It would just be even better. Like, we already know at this point it's going to be a good match. It could be better. That's the thing. But with that being said, though, folks, I will remind you again, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. We are here covering anything and everything. Wide. But that does it for NXT tonight. We will be back here tomorrow night covering AEW Dynamite, as you just heard me talking about. My homie, Piff Cliff there, the Glitch Master Wonder, unfortunately for tonight, I believe given NXT a 6. I'm giving it a 7. If you didn't do so already, let us know your ratings in the comments down below after the video and everything like that. But absolutely, folks, thank you for a fantastic stream on a Tuesday night. We are the Wrestling for Life Network. Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is all authentic. When you're talking about the rest, you better put that for life with it. Bye.